Harvey here with some more stories from southern Maine. To tell you something about my friend Harvey, Harvey Bliss. This fellow that's aptly named Bliss, because he's always happy. You know how these cartoon characters, when they get an idea, a little light bulb lights up over the head, their noggin, and sort of a wily coyote, he'll be thinking, and all of a sudden the light bulb will go up, and he'll be happy about having an idea. Well, there's always a light bulb over Harvey's head, but it's like a dim bulb. It's about a 5 watt, but it's always lit up because Harvey thinks every single idea he has is a good one, so he's always happy. But most of his ideas aren't very good, but because he's not very bright. He's a darling guy. He just really is good-natured and he's sweethearted and everything, but he's just not that bright. And he can't drive because thank goodness the state of Maine won't allow you to drive a car if you can't pass the written examination. Harvey can't read, he just doesn't have the IQ for it. It's somewhere around the upper 70s, and doesn't mean he's not a good person. He is. He's a very good person, good-natured and good character. He's honest, but he's not that bright. And so being so that he can't drive, I drive him to church every Sunday. And he don't go to my church. He likes to go down to that little charismatic place down the way. He's easily bored, see. And my church, Church of Nazarene, a little too dull for him. He likes the charismatic church. The worship style's a little bit more exciting for him. They worship services, they're back and forth. They raise both hands when they worship, and we're a little more reserved there in the Nazarene church. It's just like we get excited. We'll kind of maybe just raise one hand, And the story goes of a Nazarene pastor and his charismatic friend pastor was strolling down Boston, and they got mugged. Well, the Nazarene pastor got shot because he'd only raised one hand. Yeah, you know how that goes. But anyway, I dropped Harvey off at his church one Sunday morning. I picked him up when I got through with my service, and he had a black eye. I thought it's kind of odd, Must have thought maybe he'd fallen down or something. But what happened, Harvey? Well, he says, we stood up for prayer, and he says, I kind of opened my eyes. He says, Harvey, you're supposed to keep your eyes closed during prayer. He says, I know. But, I looked up my eye, and there was a rather large lady in front of me, and when she stood up, her dress was all kind of tucked in, in her backside there, and it didn't look too comfortable. He says, so I just reached around and I pulled it out for her. She turned around and slugged me. You dummy. He says, I hope you learned your lesson. He says, oh, golly, yes, I ain't going to do anything like that. She's got a heck of a right jab. And he's rubbing his eye, and it's all swollen up, and he can hardly see out of it, He says, Harvey, I hope you heard your lesson. You're never going to do anything like that again, are you? He says, no, sir. No, sir, I ain't going to do anything like that. So I dropped him off the next Sunday, and his eye's starting to heal. He gets kind of see out of it a little bit. And I went to my service, and I picked him up. Sure enough, his other eye is blackened, and it's all starting to swell up again. I says, Harvey, you tell me what happened. He says, well, I was sitting behind that rather large woman. He says, Harvey, don't tell me you did. No, I didn't. I'm not that dumb. I'm not going to do anything like I did last Sunday. He says, well, what happened? He says, well, we stood up, for prayer again, and I noticed that her dress was all hanging natural, and I know that she likes it tucked in, so I tucked it back in for her. For you dope, you're never going to learn your lesson. He says, yeah, she's got a good right jab, she said, and she's got a good left hook, too. He says, Harvey, you better come to my church, because those charismatics, they use both hands, and we Nazarenes, we only use one. You come to my church, maybe you'll have one eye you can see out of every now and then if you can't change your behavior. God bless you.